Hi, how are you doing? I was thinking of singing, but the internet isn't really working on my laptop. It hasn't been working since probably yesterday morning, which was Saturday. um, so I'm too sick to dance or play violin. Anyway, so hi, yeah. I guess I'll start out by getting this over with. Maybe it's funny. So. Um, I don't know. I think when I was a little girl, I remember, I knew about music from like TV, probably. You know, when I was a toddler, maybe in preschool. I knew what a xylophone was. Of course, everyone did. Because it's the letter X in the United States in English. And I think I tried to ignore my mom when she talked about it. I don't know if she showed it to me at age 1, probably, but I did gymnastics at age 1 3/4, and then when I turned 2, she asked me if I wanted to do gymnastics. I think she wanted me to quit, and she was going to show me a book of stuff. I said I remember jumping up and down the floor thinking, I want gymnastics over and over, and she never showed me the book. And I think it was going to be gay. And I think she was going to talk me out of gymnastics. And everybody today wants gymnastics. And I already knew it made you strong and skinny, and therefore maybe they said attractive. Maybe they didn't. And so I did gymnastics. I also knew about ballet, but I got the drift. I was going to get tired if I did both gymnastics and ballet. I remember I did ballet when I was 5 with a dark French teacher. I don't know if she was from Canada or France. She had short hair. I don't remember how she looked exactly. And I was good at gymnastics, so my mom put me in ballet. I looked at dance, but I knew ballet was supposed to be better. And I like classical stuff. But you know, back then I was told what to do. And so, ballet class was hard. So I couldn't remember anything in ballet because I only did gymnastics. I was already used to it. And in gymnastics, you just do the same thing over and over. And I did since I was age 1. You know, a long time ago, they probably had people younger dancing in shows. So I couldn't remember the moves. I still can't. The other challenge was I couldn't flatten my back out. So I couldn't do anything. I get jealous of dance. It looks like a good thing to do on the side, in a way. But it's different from music, like so I played the piano. So what I was going to say about the piano is, so I started when I was 9 1/2. I started playing by ear, just Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, when I was 7, and I said I wanted to be a singer when I grew up at age 7. Actually, I wanted to be an artist, I said at age 3. It was the first time I got an easel. I didn't tell my parents I wanted to do art before that age. Yeah, most people start when they're younger. So it was a little hard, but I got good at it. And mostly I did crafts and mostly origami. So yeah, 5, I don't know yet. I don't know what I want to be as 5, but I still want to be an artist. I like the gymnastics and ballet. I think I was thinking of that then. The only sure thing was I wanted to take gymnastics when I lived in Fort Lauderdale so I could be attractive and not get tired doing other things. But gymnastics seemed better than like, oh, maybe I'll do kitty gym or something. Maybe I wouldn't even think of that. So I started piano at 9, and I was trying to play by ear then too, and then that's my parents tried to get me into it because I was taking art class. Apparently I wasn't doing very good because I never did much painting, and so that's not what I did. So I can draw now though, but I don't know if I'm the best drawer now. I've seen other people draw. I mean, I care for it, but I don't want to draw like that. And I've seen things that were too advanced for me to do, but I don't see them in museums. So I started piano at 9. The funny thing is, when I was in kindergarten, I saw singing on TV. Like near the beginning, I came home, I sang for my dad. I told my mom and my dad I wanted to sing. And my spine's hurting again. I have to lie down. So then eventually my aunt got me some tapes, and mom plays in the car all the time. And they're kid tapes. Kind of not that aesthetic, but at least they weren't gay. So when I was 6, I wanted to play violin, and no one answered. And I was at my grandma's. My aunt did give me some flutes. I did say I want to play flute too, because I thought they would let me play violin. And now I'm kind of glad it's fun to do just for fun. Except I want to be good at something. So I started singing when I was 5 by myself. My music teacher's daughter, one place, started singing probably when she was 2, like Celine Dion. She was very loud. I know her mom was probably Swedish and French, and her dad was German, I think. And she was pretty loud. And her mom wasn't. I was not loud at all. Until later, when I started singing like opera or higher things, music, and we did learn about musical theater in school. I did classical music at home. Well, my parents aren't classical musicians. So, about the music. So I wanted to sing by the time I was 5, and I thought it was too late. I wanted to play violin by the time I was 6, and I thought it was too late. And then, in music class, we actually learned to read notes when I was 7 and 8, so that's that. What else was I say? Okay, I guess that's that. What can I go into? I'm a little thirsty and no food. So who's watching this? No one especially might be watching this. So there's something interesting for you anyway. Maybe I'll get some water. It's not my voice, I'm thirsty. I can sing. I don't know how other people sing, because it was hard for me to learn to sing. I want to take voice and get to. I know about it when I was 5, 7. I didn't know about it until I was 9. And I was in choir and I never got around to it, I guess. Actually, I was in piano and they wouldn't let me do anything else. So, you were interested in me at the festival. My first festival I remember was when I was 7 and 8. It was a regular Florida festival. You know, they're like things big and commercial there, but there's no, I don't think it was that. It was kind of big. They had the big thing where they swing around, and I wasn't scared because I had gymnastics or anything. The swing that swings like a merry-go-round, except you're up in the air. It didn't make me dizzy. It didn't hurt me or anything then. I wasn't scared. I wanted quite a lot. I was a little uncertain about it. So what else? I loved the lemonade there, my first lemonade. I liked playing the games. I remember my younger brother was so cute. He wasn't really like me, but I don't know why. Really. So, what else? So I had the festivals there at 7 and 8. I learned to throw the darts at the balloons. I was kind of a tomboy, and my dad cut my hair short, and it was dark. So, and I didn't look Chinese, really, at that time. And I still don't. I like Chinese, but I'm not all Chinese. My parents are not as Chinese as me, even. So, and then there's the festival in St. Augustine, the oldest city in the U.S., with all the kids from up north there, and those festivals were the best that I've been to. So, they were kind of big. They had a Ferris wheel. They had some things. I didn't like most of it. I just like this one ride. Goes around in circles, supposedly fast, but it didn't feel that fast. Some people are still scared to go on that one. I don't like the only kinds of rides I can't go on, because I went on one. I thought, oh, that's gonna look like fun. But I was in my 30s, I think. Is the one that spins around and it goes in circles. I haven't tried a bunch of other ones, but I went on that one. I couldn't stand it the whole time. I don't think I was gonna die, but I just couldn't stand it. My whole body was like, couldn't stand it, and I just screamed, and that's what got me through. I wasn't dizzy or anything probably, but I've gotten effects from rides though, even though I did gymnastics a lot. I'm not a big ride person. I think a lot of people went on a lot of rides. So anyway, in St. Augustine, that's when I was a pretty girl. So, and it was getting cool later on, like when I was in 1996 and 1997, 1998 actually got really cool. I wore jean jumpers with white t-shirts underneath and lace-up boots. So, I don't know if I tied any of my hair up. So the best part is probably, the festival itself. So when I was in 5th grade, the teacher from Pennsylvania, my dad's from Pennsylvania. Actually, my dad was from the same city as this teacher. She was extremely strict and very creative, and she got fired and got depressed. Went to the mental hospital or something, and then later she blocked me on Facebook years later. So we had a big thing where we were gonna go on the swinging boat, and I would never go on the swinging boat. So I'm on the swinging boat, and they're like, oh, we're gonna sit on the edge. It's good for them. They look more scared than me, but I think they like it. So I couldn't stand it in the middle. I wait for the swinging to go by and feel that bad feeling that I get. So the Ferris wheel was supposed to be fun. I don't know. I didn't get the cool hat prize. I don't know. I think I didn't have money. And I wanted to buy one. I think my friend might have had it, and she put her toys in it or something. I don't remember the food being especially good, but it's just, oh yeah, I know what it was. So I did like seeing my teachers at the festival anyway. So I did wear cotton candy when I was 11. It was kind of cool. And they thought I was going to actually get a job before 13. I mean, it wasn't a big deal to me. I thought I was in school, but I don't know. So yeah, the best part about the festival those 3 years was being in choir, because in the end everyone was like joining in maybe. And I did play the piano. That was even cooler. And the music teacher's daughter sang Castle on a Cloud. And I learned to play it in a week when I was 11. And I started when I was 9 and a half. So I also played Titanic when I was almost 12. So that took maybe a few months to learn. It was maybe the real version. It wasn't very impressive though. But it, had that. I had to stretch my hand. I don't know if any of you played piano, but so I got the rhythm down. People thought I was good. I mean, I just wasn't that free as I am now, but I got it down. I had it memorized, but I didn't play it from memory. It was just good that I played it and I could play it with some feeling. And they thought I was good. I think I was like gifted or talented there. And when I moved, I didn't take piano lessons for half a year, and they thought it was a big deal. They wanted me to take piano so I wouldn't sing, and they didn't want me to play violin. So, and they never said anything about the violin. So, for a while, until I asked the band teacher later, when he asked me to join the band, because I was in town with music and stuff. So, some people are talking outside. I'm sorry, I don't know. What I was saying. Yeah, the recital. So yeah, I moved. There's no more recitals after a while. I got really close to the Italian older lady from New York City, piano teacher from Juilliard, but she didn't get a bachelor's, so she got certificates, and she couldn't play because her husband didn't want her to play. And like she could like do the notes, but she didn't get them right. Like they wouldn't go in the right space. But she didn't, like most people, she said, "Oh, you're good, I can't fix it right." Well, she didn't say that. She thought I was giving her a concert every time. It's pretty funny. So she's pretty much someone to talk to all those pretty miserable years. I can't say any years that weren't miserable. And in the end, we used to visit. So she was really interesting. And as far as learning anything on piano, she just let me play, and she's very casual, but I'm not very casual. Actually, maybe I was then with her, but a little bit, but not like outspoken. And so it's just nice to have someone to play for, and I don't know. When I started when I was 9, I think my mistake was that I already knew the songs that when I went in, I didn't say anything, and she thought I was just good at it. I just didn't want to talk with them. It made me uncomfortable. Because people don't like it when I talk. I think there's something wrong. So I just didn't decide. I was 9. I remember playing an easy version of Moonlight Sonata, and I played a harder one, the real one, some bit later. And it was pretty easy, but the easy version I played before was pretty hard. I remember it hurt when she yelled at me. So I don't know why I can't play the piano. Maybe I just didn't practice. I can't play the violin, I think, because I damaged my arm. I used to be able to play in college. I was good at it, but I was just beginning. I can't imagine how that'd be hard. The flute seems harder. I don't know why people say violin is hard. Violin is not hard at all for me. I can't sing. I lost my singing voice, and they didn't like me at this college, and we're kind of gay about it. So I just am for the violin. And I'm not really a bell person, though I love the bell sounds. Organ is fun, but so I'm the violin now, at least. I don't know if I could play anything else. I've tried the harp. I was good at plucking the strings, so I'll be good for violin. I'm sure I could play something else. But, you know, I played Sermon chord. It was pretty hard, and I think a lot of people mess up on playing right. Maybe I'm good at speaking in any language. I don't know. At least in a European language, maybe. So, I mean, I'm guessing. And so, other festivals weren't as big a deal. How long has it been? 18 minutes. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. What else should I talk about? Yeah, I've been following. It's so hard to say his name. Everyone says it differently. Anand Parks. Should I just try? I was good at saying things in other languages, especially I can understand French more than I could before I lived in New Orleans. I think. Yeah. So his name is. You see my cousin. In Indonesia. He's half Indonesian from his dad, who plays violin for a living, but she divorced and recently, and so he can play the hardest violin literature there is. My mom told me when she was still alive, and his name is Andre. So, and then I've seen people online similar or same thing in Germany. I'm used to seeing it. So what's his last name? Okay, in England, I think they said his last name was Ryu, and then in Eastern Europe, I saw the interview. I really like this. The lady from Eastern Europe, I think like more South Eastern Europe, and I can't say it. So yeah, I've been following him online because they post the concerts there, and I think it's legal because I see a lot of people take them, so I follow them. And there's so I'm on this site, and then he sells the DVDs, which I don't have money. And every time I try to buy something, like something happens. So yeah, he posts pictures of himself when he's at home and stuff. And then his orchestra, I found them online, and I called them. What else do I like to talk about? So yeah, I like to go to festivals. I went to Disney World a lot. So the thing about Disney World is I didn't want to bring food. I guess I wanted fresh food and customers fun. Everyone's like, oh, bring pizza, vegetables, or something, and those will make me sick too. I mean, I used to eat a lot of them. I like to eat a lot at once. And not skip eating. So Disney World, I'm not the biggest Disney World person, but so the first time I went to Disney World, I was so I'm just thirsty. I'll get these for my booze. The first ride we went on, I went to, I think, Adventureland. And yeah, it has picked. So we went on the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, which is just a treehouse you walk through, and they had a piano there. So yeah, I went there when I was 10, 1996 in the summer. You know, a lot of kids were born then, and you know, I was a kid. Actually, I was in puberty. Wait, I wasn't. So then we went on Pirates of the Caribbean. And it scared my younger brother and cousin. They went a little too young, I think. The drop in the dark. Oh yeah, spoilers. Skip this if you don't want to listen. Okay. And then I didn't get to go on Space Mountain. Thunder Mountain was very painful. Not scary. Haunted Mansion I thought might be scary because I didn't know if it would be a ride. So I didn't go on much of this. On Thunder Mountain, that was fun. I wasn't that big into souvenirs, but I like them. We probably saw the I don't know if we saw the Hey, oh yeah, I know we went to Buzz Lightyear's Stranger Spin or whatever. And it was something to remember that was with my dad and my aunt. My dad was in the back and my aunt sat on my dad, and then I sat in the front. So what else? I don't know if we didn't do anything in Disney. Oh yeah, Small World. Yeah, it was fun. And I went on a lot later. You know, stuff like that. And I went later. It wasn't fun later. I went, you know, Disney field trip at school. He did that at 12th grade. Almost every high school does that in 12th grade when I was younger. So what else? Yeah, I remember being in the bus, and I was so tired because you know, I didn't have a good life. So no, but it was fun because I got to prove how strong I was. But I didn't really like the thing about no sleeping. And yeah, you go to Universal too, and stay in a hotel with a few beds. It was okay there. I didn't like the retreat, staying up all night either. I was a Catholic school that year. I should tell you all about New Orleans. I don't think I'm gonna in this video. So not much to say about Disney World. I like walking around Europe or the world in Epcot. You know, I did other stuff like that. Not much to speak of. I want to tell you about New Orleans. Probably easier to talk about. Maybe I'll write about it later. I haven't just said that much about it lately. I guess I'll say something about it now. My back is kind of hurting and I haven't eaten much. But I eat snacks. So, the thing about New Orleans, I find kind of offensive. I'm not from there. I can't feel like I'm from there. I'm from Florida. Even people from Miami can't do that. And I don't know which is, if up north is better, but I kind of don't think it can be that way. You know, they come down there. So I don't know. In a way, they're better, but I don't know. I don't think New Orleans is like up north. I gotta say, it's not north, it's not Florida. But they have things in common. And also there's others. So, about New Orleans, what I was gonna say was I find it offensive. I gained weight at different times after fasting that people noticed. And it wasn't really my fault. I think maybe once. So the thing about that is it's so offensive. I'm not from there. People are like acting like I'm like the only person who did anything there, but I'm not from there, so they don't care about me. I don't know about this feeling. This is another lie. So New Orleans is French. I lived in Spanish, St. Augustine. That is a preserved Spanish city from the 1500s. So I know all about it. So I moved there. I was not interested in the French Quarter because my dad told me, oh, it's like the Spanish Quarter, which is a small building with old stuff in it that shows like things like trading. And you know, I was like, oh, cool. But it's not as old. And I, you know, maybe the 1700s. But what it is, you know, the French Quarter, right? Everyone knows that. It's where they have. You don't go there much, but they have all these shops. It's pretty much just a place with stores, restaurants, and people get excited to drink alcohol in a spirited and somewhat laid-back setting. And I have lots of things to say about New Orleans when I think about it. I haven't said much lately. I'm going to talk about St. Augustine. I don't say much about Fort Lauderdale either. You know, okay. So anyway, about that in New Orleans. Now this is very offensive to suggest about my pride. So New Orleans, when I was in school, they said, "Oh yeah, it's French," and they're like, "Oh, is it like what, Italian or something?" It has that, but it's French. St. Augustine is Spanish, but Spanish people are private. So New Orleans is not a private place. So it's very difficult to live in a French culture if you don't know what to do. And by the time I figured out, it was time to leave. And I couldn't go to the ballets because I wanted to. Anyway, so the offensive thing is I get a funny feeling there, like I did about when the hurricane came. Everyone else, they're from there, the area at least, and maybe their parents are from the city, you know, some of them aren't. And some of them might be better, it seemed like they might be better. And the offensive thing is, maybe everyone else there is so at home, who's from there, that they didn't even notice it was French, and they didn't care. And I don't know, have French? Wasn't sure. I don't think I'm all Irish for my dad. So I didn't think of it much. I even forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I'm German. I have to be German. That was supposed to be the biggest percentage, and that's all they talked about. I have to be something. And so, anyway. And the people who aren't French sometimes are better. And the ones who are, probably better too. But, and then they have the mixed French people like me. I think those are the ones that. So anyway, the offensive thing is maybe. So I know for whatever reason I'm in the program or whatever where I'm on board to immerse myself with a more British accent than an American accent. And so I did, okay, I want to do, this place is French. I know I like the German people in Fort Lauderdale. My in-laws, they're cool and I never get to see them, but I thought they were pretty amazing. Anyway, they're normal people too. Maybe. So, New Orleans. Okay, so yeah, the Netherlands is a very soft culture. Norway is actually a culture of interest. So, that's probably mostly it. And because they're up north. So New Orleans is a French culture. I can't say I'm much, but so I want to be European. I don't know anything about anything. But maybe the offensive thing is all these people are from there and they're so proud of the French Quarter or the city being whatever, and the French Quarter is the biggest place for them. And I already know about being from a preserved entire area of Spanish, so it wasn't a big deal to me and it didn't look gold. And so I already did the thing where I wanted to be Spanish. So now I'm French. It's very painful. But the offensive thing is, I don't know if I'm not really all French, but it's something is. And the offensive thing is the feeling I get that no one else did it there because maybe they're already from there. I don't know. They're probably wanting to be German, like even the French people there. But it's not true. But it's a funny feeling like that. But yeah, everything. I even noticed in videos sometimes I could see me doing French without thinking about it. And when I moved to Orlando, which I did not like before, maybe, and especially after I got there, ruined my life. For some reason, I connected being Dutch and French in any way I was told I had it. So I worked on it. The only thing I know about Dutch is I was like, oh, my mom is from a Dutch country, but it's not really European. But she's kind of white. Like, I don't know who's not white. Anyway, sometimes I'm singled out as the only non-white race, but anyway. I'm pretty much on top of the other races. Smarter too, but it doesn't matter. There's other problems with it though. And so, yeah, when I connected the Dutch and the French, which is probably my relative before, married a German, maybe moved to Ireland, and then moved here, probably. But the funny thing is I was supposed to be like 49% Irish. So I tried to connect the Dutch and the French, and, I was already into being German. But, it sounded kind of cool and addictive. So I think I lost something, and I tried to get it back. And I met a boy from England who wasn't really all English, and, I might be a little Irish and Chinese, so I don't know about me. And, so being Dutch and French, and what I got out of that was I worked on my arms and my palms, I guess. And so they looked, more disconnected there. But I saw an English boy who was pretty, he was attractive. I saw he did his hands, like German people might have different, I don't know, some German people have their more idolized hands maybe. And then, but I think he might have been part English, and his hands didn't look that Dutch, so. And I felt like I was stupid because I was mixed race, and I think I lost that. Not completely. I don't know if I can get it back. It's been so many years. What else can I say? Let's stop here. I'll probably get. Oh, it's been 34 minutes. I hope this is good. I'm gonna post this now. Okay, bye.